All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my first official live stream. It's streaming directly on my website, Rumble, YouTube, X. I'm literally everywhere right now. We'll see how long that lasts. Um, I'm going to be doing the first hour on all these platforms. Thank you guys. I saw you guys in the chat. Thanks for joining. I'll be taking a look at your messages. So the first hour is going to be on X, Rumble, YouTube. Okay. But then after the first hour, we're just doing a private stream for all my subscribers on my website. And if you're like, oh, how do I get on that? How do I get on this website of yours, Leonarda? Even though you posted about it 100 freaking times, how do I get on this website? Oh, I'm so glad that you guys asked. Here it is. Oh, check that out. You can go right over there to premium membership. I'm already a member, so I'm signed in, but you'd go to premium membership, and then you get to see all of the exclusive content that I have here. Okay, so you sign up for the membership and then you'll be able to see me. Okay, but if you're not on that after the first hour, it's going to be bye-bye, and I'm just going to be dealing with all my subscribers. Shout out to all you people who signed up on my website even before I had any content available. You were real. I can't say what I want to say because I'm still on YouTube, but you're a real one. Appreciate it. Really appreciate all support that comes in that way, because I get to keep 90% of that money, which is way better than giving 30% to the tubes. So shout out to you guys. Okay. All right. So we got a fun show today. If any of you guys have been online, you've been seeing that they've been ramping up the white genocide because people are starting to catch on. Like I'd be interested in hearing some of your guys' stories, like what Thanksgiving was like, because I wasn't able to be with my family this Thanksgiving. Plus, they all think I'm crazy anyway, so nobody really listens to me. But I would like to know what it was like at normie Thanksgiving. Like, how many of your normie friends and family are starting to get it and are starting to see that they're the target of these psychopathic globalists who want to kill white people? I'm interested. So, drop your stories in the chat. Obviously, if you put a super chat, it's easier for me to see. But if you're a member, you get your own chat. And I can, if you're a member, then I can kind of give you a little bit more attention because I'll be able to see what your story is. So yeah, drop that in there. I'd like to see it. By the way, if you're on my website, you're signed up as a member, you're automatically going to get an Indian name. Now, I don't exactly know why my web designer thought it would be a good idea to give everybody an Indian name. Maybe it's because I'm always at war with the entire subcontinent of India, but I think it's actually funny, so I let him do it, All right, here we go. Let's start with yes, I did see the watch out. I'm going to get to your super chats just a little bit. Let's start with kind of one of the fun things going on today. Hold on a second. Still figuring this out, guys. So just bear with me. We're going to go right to the fun video of today. Let's see. It's women just really, every day there's a new video from women that convinces me that everybody who says we should repeal the 19th Amendment is right. Like, I don't want to believe that, because I'm a woman, and better or worse, I'm more intelligent than a lot of men that I meet. And so I meet a lot of these dumb men like Will Stancil, and I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable saying that guy should vote and that I shouldn't. But then I see these women and I'm like, it's really getting hard to argue in support of women. So let's take a look at this video over here. Let's see this one. She's really doing a number for us. Everybody can see that. All right, cool. Can somebody tell me which college kid these days is going through college and supporting their family? Can somebody tell me? This doesn't happen, okay? And let's just look at this person's face. Do you think that she has any concern for anybody else except herself? Do you think she's going to go to college for a selfless reason? It's so crazy, man. So crazy. Let's just finish watching this video. I can't help myself sometimes. Wait a second. Are you guys hearing me? I'm seeing this. You can't hear anything. Oh, come on. You still can't hear me either? Can you guys hear me? There's no sound whatsoever. No sound on the video? What about me? Let's see this. Oh, you can hear me, but not the video. Okay, listen, thank you. I appreciate this. I'm going to try this again. Let's try this again. I don't know what's going on. Let's remove this. Let me try something else. Let's see if this will work. Okay. I'm going to play this now and you guys tell me if you can hear this, okay?
Yes, the world is dying.
How is that going to help the world from not dying?
Well, why would having a kid while I'm trying to go through college and support my family, how would that benefit me?
Well, do you think your life is just about you?
Yeah, it is, because it's my life.
Do you think you have any duty as a member of our society, or do you think your body or your life?
Okay, so now you guys can hear me, and all right, awesome. It was the way I'm sharing it. Okay, but you can hear the video now, right? Yes, everybody, cool. All right, I'm gonna restart the video so we can watch the insanity from the beginning.
So I've had an abortion. Do you think I'm an evil person for having an abortion?
No.
Then why?
So I'm sorry you had an abortion, and
I'm not.
And I'm not
sorry.
I wish you felt like you didn't have to choose.
No, I
your
wanted
life
to
and your
choose
child.
that.
You wanted to choose to have an abortion, ma'am?
Yes.
Were you excited to have your abortion?
No, it was the most painful process I've ever been through, and I will do it again 1,000%.
What made you feel like you had to choose abortion?
I chose it because it was my choice to make, and because I didn't want to bring a child into a world that's dying.
All right, do you see how women don't make any sense? She asked her, why did you choose it? I chose it because it was my choice. Like, as if this woman has this deep, like, philosophical perspective of her choices. Like, she's just like, I just want to prove that free will exists and I can make a choice. No, you chose it because you're brainwashed. We can tell you're brainwashed because you have literally styled yourself to look as hideous as humanly possible. I don't know what's up with girls all wearing these disgusting glasses. You know, the sad part is if she grew her hair out, put some contact lenses on, wore a bra, she would probably be kind of good looking. And in any other world, she would have been a homesteader. But thanks to modern society that tells every woman that she's special, you can see her automatic sense of I'm oppressed and I have a right to an abortion. Okay, now this part's interesting, right? Because this is a thing. This is a tactic that only works on white people, okay? This is one of those things that I have said before, that whenever you hear white people give their reasons for why they're not having kids, it's always something that has been programmed into their brain from a young age. Global warming, the world's falling apart, there's too many people on the planet, okay? No one of these things will ever come out of an Indian's mouth, an African's mouth, a Chinese man's mouth to say why they shouldn't have kids. It doesn't even occur to them to consider that there is even a legitimate philosophy for choosing to end your line. But white people are very easy to have their empathy used against them. And then they always like try to abstract and think about everything way too much, that they're like, oh yes, the world's falling apart, so we shouldn't have any more people. Yeah, the world's falling apart because of all the other people. And you're basically saying we shouldn't have any of the kind of people who actually care about the world. Like, you get that? There's no Indian that's ever thinking like, there's too many Indians polluting the river. I must not have 17 children. No, no. But white people, I mean, so you guys got to understand, we are part of the problem. I used to think all this stuff. Let's just finish this part of the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
I didn't want to bring a child into a world that's dying.
The world is dying?
Yes, the world is dying.
How is that going to help the world from not dying?
Well, why would having a kid while I'm trying to go through college and support my family, how would that benefit me?
Well, do you think your life is just about you?
Yeah, it is, because it's my life.
Do you think you have any duty as a member of our society, or do you think your body or your life is meant for anything greater than just your own pursuits?
No.
Is there any point to this life?
No.
I feel really sorry for you.
I don't.
But I feel really bad that you had an abortion. I hope you
That's
go
great
to
for you.
standingwithyou.org and you get resources. And if you ever find yourself pregnant again, I
would
hope,
abort it immediately again.
I hope there.
You see what I mean? It's just insane, dude. It's just insane. You guys heard what I said, right? When she was saying before, she was saying that, she's got to support her family. First of all, no college kid is in college and working to support their family. Like, especially not when you look like this. You know, like, you're not thinking it. You just said your life is only for you. You only care about you. There's no way you're working a job to support your ailing parents. Because here's the irony. Like, if you did, you would actually keep the kid because you would value life. Okay. But this is what happens when people get brainwashed, by the way. So, like, I don't even mean to attack this woman so much. I really don't, because I understand that she's a woman and she's retarded, especially at this age. And I'm no different, by the way. I don't want anybody thinking that I think I'm better. When I was her age, I was probably even more retarded. I just still hadn't slept with anyone at that age, and so I never got pregnant and aborted anything. I don't know. I probably would have. That's the truth. You know, I'm not trying to be holier than thou. It's like, I probably would have. I was just as lost and just as retarded. But again, right? You can't. People are like, oh, women should have an education. I'm like, what? If the problem isn't them having an education, it's them having an indoctrination. What do you think this woman would be saying if a certain painter had prevailed and was in charge of the education system of her country? Do you think she would be saying this? No, she wouldn't. Okay. Let me get to some of your super chats because I saw them coming in here. Oh, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Pierre Staler. Merry Christmas to you too. And we do say Merry Christmas in this house. We don't say Happy Holidays. You get your Judaism cult out of here. It's Merry Christmas. Super sticker. Vince Lasagna. Thank you. You just gave me a sticker. Thank you, Vince. What else we got here? Keep telling the truth. Keep it going. Appreciate what you got to say. Thank you. I'm going to keep telling the truth. I hope it actually ignites other people to tell the truth, because the problem is that everybody has shut up for so long that now everybody thinks they're the only one who sees it, and nobody wants to poke their head up because they're going to be a target. So the more of us that speak up, the more people will speak up, and the less that are actually able to shut us down. So thank you guys. My name is Michael Salehi. Would you please butcher my last name? I just did that, Michael. Salehi? Salhi. I'm guessing you're Italian, Michael. Tell your parents it's time to integrate into the American culture. Leonarda, did you see Wahat Ali's comments on white people? He's a man from Pakistan who says our culture sucks, our food, our music. How can we use this to our advantage? He says this without consequence. I think, guys, anytime you have one of these people say these things, you should download those videos and make your boomer parents, make your brainwashed Gen X aunts and older sisters and uncles, make these Zoomers who are trans. I mean, we got to get those Zoomers who are trans. We got to pull them back. You know, make them watch it. Go, what do you think of that? What do you think about this person said? And you know what would actually be real interesting is before you introduce the video, you know, you could always say to somebody, man, I can't believe what this white person said, and just flip it. Go, this white person was like, all non-white cultures suck. Their food's terrible. They should be happy the white man came, right? You got to get them in that place first. And then they're going to go, wow, that's so horrible. And go, oh, I'm sorry. I mixed that up. Actually, it was a non-white saying about a white person. Cause see, now you got them in a bind. Okay. Cause they just admitted that if a white person said that about a non-white, they thought it was gross and awful and horrible. And you could even ask them what they think should be done to that person. And then you should flip it and show them, well, actually, it's the exact same behavior, just the other way. Here it is. And watch them try to backpedal, especially if they're brainwashed and be like, no. When you thought it was the white person, this is what you said. Okay. And you got to point out to them just how ridiculous it is to have double standards. So yeah, I did see that. I'm so tired of these Pajeets just coming on here, and they're so arrogant and idiotic, and the thing is, I think they know their time is up, but they're also too dumb. Like, they really think that nothing could ever change and that white people are just going to like lay down, take it, and give up, which it's not going to happen. Sorry. Some of them will, like that woman who aborted her own kid, but that's getting less and less, Thank you for the $10, Julio Scissors. Oh my God, someone who hate Nick Fuentes, please debate him. I don't hate Nick Fuentes. I don't know where you got that from. I really don't. So not really sure why people think that. The stupidity of trollops that makes my blood boil. Yeah, trollops used to this is why trollops didn't have rights, because they couldn't be trusted with them. She can't be trusted to look after herself. And she's angry because she doesn't like this freedom. She's oppressed under the freedom of having to make choices. She's not built for this. Everyone spam Blue Ninja Turtle. I'm the Blue Ninja Turtle. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Robert, for the $9.99. Is your fiance still a loser as he's a comedian? No. Obviously, I'm not going to get engaged to somebody who's a loser. I'm also a comedian. I could be a little bit of a loser, but I don't think all comedians are losers. I think 99% of comedians are losers. Okay. And I think people should stop worshiping them, especially a lot of the famous ones. Come on, man. How many times are we going to watch Leslie Jones, scream at you about how hard it is to be a Black person in America as a multimillionaire? So the idea that we worship these celebrities, that's got to be over, man. Super sticker. Thank you, Wally. Thanks for the $20. Happy Hanukkah in America, Diwali. This guy's going to get banned. You're getting banned, Vince. You had my wife and I cracking up when you put that towel on your head. She's a fan of. Oh, that's excellent, man. That's excellent. Get your women. We need women on this side of the battle. You guys got to understand that. You don't really need women for the physical power, but you do need women to socialize the other young girls. Because the truth of the matter is, if you don't get the young women, you don't have a people. And it's starting to happen. There's some of these really, I didn't ban him, Kern. I was joking. Let's all be funny over here. Okay. Let me get rid of this real quick. You got to get the women to start putting the social pressure back on the other women. It's starting to happen. There's some attractive women on the right wing. This is what's nice. Okay. The left wing are people who look like Rosie O'Donnell and Leslie Jones and this girl. Okay. They don't have any kind of aesthetic appeal to them. And despite the years and years of propaganda that told young girls it's okay to be fat, no woman actually wants to be fat. I don't care what they say. I don't care how much they seem totally okay with it and comfortable that the only guys who hit on them are Black dudes. No woman wants to be fat. Okay. So now what's nice is there's Ozempic. So women don't have to pretend that they like being fat just because they don't have the willpower to stop eating. they can still not have the willpower and take Ozempic and then realize that they get so much more attention. They like the clothes, the way clothes fit when they're fitter, and they can lie to people and say they're not on it. So then people are like, wow, it's so cool how you took. So we have this tool, and we really need women to understand that this is not cool anymore. Nobody wants this. No man wants this. She doesn't have real friends. She has other friends who are also ugly and are left out of society, and they've all bonded together, okay? All you got to do is go see some of these people when they hang out together. I'm not even kidding, man. I was at a coffee shop in California a few weeks ago, and there was like the trio of Antifa alum, right? And one of them was like super obese. The other one was like a chunky mixed race, couldn't tell what they were. Then we had a trans person on crutches. And I was like, yeah, you don't really need anything except to show the youth like these people in their actual light without letting them talk, and just like showing them for what they are, and then contrast that with like fit right-wing people who are on the right side of history, people who are proud of their race and their ethnicity and aren't apologizing for it, people who want to have kids and want to get married, and just show that difference. And it's enough. That's why memes are super powerful, man. Yeah, it is like I visited the circus. That's right. Okay, I'm going to post this because yeah, hell yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you, Anonymous Party. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going because I do have more fun videos to show you guys. 1 second. Here we go. This is one. This is a part of the agenda for everybody. Let's start this over. I wanna cry, I wanna love to love my tears. Okay. Let's this is annoying. Sorry guys. 1 second. 1 second. I'm still learning how to be, technologically capable here. Here we go. I wanna cry, I wanna love to love my tears. Yeah, I mean, dude, this woman's great-great-grandmother was unbelievably beautiful. I can't get over this. Let's just take a look at that. It's like a painting of, like, that could be Russian royalty right there, or German royalty. They shared the same bloodlines, you know what I mean? English loyalty. Just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. Okay. And this is probably like the 1800s when people were like ugly all the time. So it's amazing. This is what her great grandmother was. Unbelievably beautiful. Okay. We can move it down the line. Her grandmother was pretty beautiful too. Look at that. Just stunning. Like, I'm talking actress level, stunning movie star. I mean, they had, just so you guys know, this thing about hiring ugly movie stars didn't start now. Go watch some of those old movies, right? Just beautiful. Okay. Then here comes the insanity star. Even her, just gorgeous, gorgeous. Looks kind of like Angelina Jolie's mom, right? 70s hippies, right? This is when they started in with the with the propaganda, right? They started propagandizing the boomers, right? The whole summer, the love, the decade of love and all that crap that they did, free love. That's propaganda, just so you guys know. Okay. And they got your boomer parents. And then of course her boomer parents didn't say anything to her beautiful daughter, wonderful features. She looks a little bit like, who's that actress that's married to, I'm not even going to be able to say it now. It'll come back to me, but beautiful, right? And then what do we get? You don't know if she adopted those kids. There's no resemblance, no family. And I look, I'm not going to, shit on kids, man. God bless those kids. I hope they're doing well. But the idea is that it's gone. That's it. It's gone now, right? There's no connection. That's it. Now, here we go. Great grandma. Now we got a Filipino up in the house. Okay, because we don't even know. There's no connection. There's no roots. What, if she came back, she wouldn't understand what happened. She would not even understand what happened. It's so far beyond it. That's another method of white genocide there, right? Because when you mix white with anything, it's no longer white. I didn't make up the rules. It's the recessive gene quality. So a white and an Asian will make an Asian, and a white and a black make a black. So it's a nice way to end your bloodline, which is exactly like what we saw with the previous woman, right? The previous woman, instead of doing this, she's like, I'm just going to abort it. Now, you know what's interesting to me is I really wonder if somebody had said to her when she said, oh, I got an abortion, if somebody had said, oh, that's great, we really don't need any more mixed race kids. And just to watch her brain like lose it. You know what I mean? Because first of all, she would have been like, oh, I wasn't a mixed race kid, it was a white kid. And then you could just get her and be like, oh, so you don't feel bad because you killed a white baby, but you would feel bad if you killed a mixed race baby. Well, what if you got pregnant with a mixed race baby? Don't you think black people are oppressed enough without you having to kill them in your room? So, it's good to mess with people like that, kind of make their programming break down. But we are at the end of the day, you guys got to remember, we are trying to get these people back as much as we can. I mean, some of them are going to be lost causes, but she wasn't fat, she wasn't a fatty. So there's no reason why we shouldn't have been able to get her back. We could have grown her hair out. You got to remember, man, there's people who were so far gone in that ideology that they even transition themselves and they have since then detransitioned. So never give up, that's what I say. All right, let's see what else we got here. This was fun. Let's pull this up for us. Thank you for white fellow being. Yeah, I'm happy to do what I can. Stand up. Nobody has a problem when black people go on The View and talk about how they're proud to be black and black people are superior and they're here standing up for their people. But, when white people come in and they say, I'm standing up for white people, I'm protecting white people against the genocide. I mean, we really just, they attack us as hard as they possibly can. And it's because they want us to have no defense against our own erasure, because that's the only way they can win. That's the truth. If all white people were united in wanting their own people to live and refused to fight each other, the other side wouldn't have a fighting chance. You could take the 1.4 billion Indians, you could take the over 2 billion Africans, you can set them up all in the army, and they're not going to win against they're not even going to win against a fraction of the white population. The only way they can get this to happen is to brainwash and propagandize white people against themselves so they can fight the white people like us who are awake to what's going on, right? So that's why I say waking up these people and not giving up is important. Okay, let's go watch Carl Sagan, who's total, can't stand him. Can't stand this guy. There's always been something about Carl Sagan that bothered me. And one of my relatives is a atheist, and we'd always fight because he'd always bring up Carl Sagan. Then I discovered some things about Carl Sagan, which we'll get to, and I go, oh, that's why I never liked him. That's why I didn't like this guy.
Star Wars starts out saying it's on some other galaxy.
Right.
And then you see there's people. And starting in scene 1, there's a problem, because human beings are the result of a unique evolutionary sequence based upon so many individually unlikely random events on the Earth. In fact, I think most evolutionary biologists would agree that if you started the Earth out again and just let those random factors operate, you might wind up with beings that are as smart as us and as ethical and artistic and all the rest, but they would not be human beings. That's for the Earth. So another planet, different environment, very unlikely to have human beings.
Are you saying on another galaxy, it's not possible that there could be...
It's extremely unlikely that there would be creatures as similar to us as the dominant ones in Star Wars. And there's a whole bunch of other things. They're all white. The skin of all the humans in Star Wars, oddly enough, is sort of like this.
Right.
And not even the other colors represented on the Earth are present, much less greens and blues and purples and oranges.
They did have the scene in Star Wars with a lot of strange characters.
Yeah, but none of them seem to be in charge of the galaxy. Everybody in charge of the galaxy seemed to look like us. And I thought there was a large amount of human chauvinism. And also, I felt very bad that at the end, the Wookiee didn't get a medal also. You know, all the people got medals, and the Wookiee who had been in there fighting all the time, he didn't get any medal. And I thought that was an example of anti-Wookiee discrimination.
So this was in the 70s, I believe, right? Look at how smug he is, how smug and arrogant, and I'm so right for thinking this. I'm 100% right. No, but of course, but you could tell he said this is new territory, right? This is the new. No, Carl Sagan is not cool, Optimal Pro. Sorry, I know you just got here from Reddit, okay? But he's not cool. He's an absolute unbelievable loser, and he basically was part and parcel of making people feel like humans weren't special. There's nothing really important about humanity. Who do you think they were talking to, by the way? Who do you think the Carl Sagans and the Dorkins, the Richard Dorkins and the Sam, whatever his freaking name is, when they go out here and they're saying humanity's nothing special, there's nothing really interesting about each individual human being, it's all an accident. Who do you think they were talking to? Huh? Do you think they were talking to the Africans who are overrunning the wells that Mr. Beast built them? Do you think they were talking to the 2 billion Chinese who are out there destroying the sea animals because they want to ruin the countries around them so that they have to be dependent on them for fishing? Do you think they were talking to the over 1 billion Indians who can't seem to figure out how to pick up their sewage and now are exporting themselves all around the world? Do you think that's who they were talking to? No, dummy. They were talking to white people because white people were the only people listening and the only people stupid enough to internalize this message. There's nothing important about me, so humanity should just cease existing. They're talking to white people, dude. So yeah, Carl Sagan is an absolute loser, okay? And why? Because here's the thing. He even specifically says, right? He points down to his skin. He says, I saw people who looked like me.
As similar to us as the dominant ones in Star Wars, and there's a whole bunch of other things. They're all white. The skin of all the humans in Star Wars, oddly enough, is sort of like this.
Right.
And
so you see that? That's a very common tactic of being like, fellow white, it's okay for me to say it because I'm being self-effacing towards white people. I do wonder if all the people in Star Wars had been, I don't know, Jews, if Carl Sagan would have pointed it out and said, yeah, there was just a problem with Star Wars. All the humans were Jews like me. And I didn't like that. That's not good. That's not what we want to see for the future. Would he have said that? No, he wouldn't. So this is why Carl Sagan can go get fucked and every other atheist can go get fucked, because the only thing the atheists seem to care about is dismantling Christianity. They never attack the one special religion in the Middle East that no one can ever talk about. They never talk about that one, even though that one's got a lot of insanity, like building a fishing wire all around New York City and thinking that means you can trick God into thinking you're inside your house instead of outside, right? So yeah, you should get really fed up when these people march in front of you and tell you what your religion means, what your culture means, how your people are bad for the environment. You should get fed the fuck up, okay? Yeah, he makes an that's exactly right. This went away. There we go. Boston, he makes an anti-white comic, then uses his skin to camouflage to trick whites into thinking he is one of us, and that what he's critiquing is himself, the whites. Yeah. Subversion level is elite. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine, Riot. I don't know why you got to get your feelings hurt. I don't like atheism. So you're an atheist. Cool. Good for you. But I don't march into your house and tell you why you should believe in God. So, if somebody's interested in why you're an atheist, let them ask you. If somebody's interested in why I'm a Christian, I let them ask me. I don't go marching around being like, you should do this. It's like, at this point in time, everybody's heard the gospel and they've made a decision for themselves. And that's on you, what you want to decide. If somebody wants to know why I believe, I'll be happy to share. And the truth of the matter is, there's nothing that I could say that could convince you as much as your own experience with God. And as much as the experience of believing Carl Sagan and his fellow atheists, how that leaves you completely devoid of meaning and of purpose, and how we end up in a situation where a woman is telling how she's happy that she killed her unborn child because life has no meaning. It's literally the end result of that. So that's what I got to say about that. Fuck Carl Sagan, okay? And we got more people just happily celebrating. Let's go. Let me take a look at some of these super chats. I know some of them came in. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Hi, Leonarda. Would you ever go on Fresh and Fit with Myron Gaines because he shares some? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I talked to Myron. I agree with Myron on some stuff. There's some stuff I don't agree with him on, but I think he's right more than he's wrong. We've tried to set it up. It just didn't work out. Like, I went to Florida to do comedy and then I didn't have time, but I would be happy to do that. He's cool. And he's done a pretty good job calling out the anti-white bullshit. I know he's not white, but he definitely calls out the racism against white people. You're awesome. Keep spreading the truth. I would love to see you in person. Any chances of coming to New Jersey soon before the commie takes New York City? I'm actually working on getting a date in Jersey. It's hard for me to, obviously you guys know that it's hard for me to get venues because I get canceled. People call them and oh, she's racist, she's this, she's that, whatever. Meanwhile, there's Black comedians who say 10 times worse shit about white people. No problem. Any stage you want. So I'm working on it. I am coming to Fort Worth on New Year's Eve. So you guys could go to my website and check that out. I will be there New Year's Eve, 2 shows, 7:30 and 10 o'clock. It'll be a fun time. I like that room in Fort Worth. If you were there last year, you'll know it was pretty fun. So if you guys want to come see me in Fort Worth, that's a place to be. Let's see what else we got here. Thanks for the $20, Mighty Murph. Thank you. Appreciate that. The Brits. I'm a British boomer and I hate these foreign vermin taking my country. Yeah, I think there are a lot of boomers who understand that. Unfortunately, Steve, a lot of your boomer compadres have all been brainwashed and psyoped against their own interests and against their own children. I actually have something that I'm gonna get into about that, Steve. So stay in. Much love from Canada. And the brown hands mean you are Indian? No, it looks like you might be Native American, said indigenous. Hey, man, my heart goes out to Canada, man. Canada has just become like little India, and they took away your guns. I remember when they took away the guns in Canada. Was it before or after the trucker protest? I forgot, but they took away the guns, and I was like, okay, they want to do something horrible. And then they brought in, I forgot how many foreigners after that. So whenever they want to take away your guns, guys, just know that that's the precursor to either a mass starvation campaign, some kind of mass enslavement. Maybe they're going to bring in a crazy number of brown people to fight you. Yeah, it's not good. And they're going to try and do that. Pam Bondi sending all her freaking, what did she say? She's sending all these federal agents through every city. It's like, they don't care about us. Okay. Even with the deportations, I remember I said that, they're going to start deporting the most anti-Semitic people. And that's what they focused on. So, hey, Leonardo, when are you coming to Stockholm? Jimmy Dore had a sold out comedy show around 2 years ago. If you're in Stockholm, I'm sure it'll be sold out. Stockholm, Sweden. I'd love to. Are they going to arrest me? I don't know what's up with these European countries, man. So many of these European, people have asked me to go to the UK. I'd love to go to the UK. I love British patriots who know what's up, man. Because in Britain, you have a total polarization. You've got the real idiotic whites who keep thinking if they ingratiate themselves to these browns, they'll be spared. I mean, so much so there was that video that was circulating just a few weeks ago where the Muslims were marching through the streets in England, and some white guy was like, "We're on your side, mate. We're on your side." And the British guy goes, "No, you're not." And the Muslim guy. And I'm like, the Muslim guy's right, moron. They know where the lines are. You keep trying to skirt the lines, and they think you're pathetic because you won't even fight for your own people because you feel so weak. They really think you're vermin, as they should. As they should. So yeah, if I wasn't going to get arrested or something, I'll come. That's a long way for me to say that. Thank you for being funny. It's rare and intrinsic sight from a woman. Okay. It's a rare and intrinsic. Okay. Thank you. Also, what's your favorite Italian cuisine? Well, Italian is the cuisine. Do you mean like Northern? I don't really know, man. Look, okay. I've had my fair share of fat days. And let me tell you, fat days, Leonarda, was a fettuccine Alfredo. Like, serve me up. And that is literally like, if you wanted to just get fat, you should eat fettuccine Alfredo. It's probably exactly 50% carbs and 50% fat, like zero protein. That's where I go. I got to keep myself from that, but that's what I would go to. Remember to hit like, everyone. Yes, thank you, Drunky Roy, Drunkle Roy. Yep, can't read over here. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Steve, I saw you in Seattle. You're touring next year because I want to see your show again. Love from the UK. Oh, wow, Steve, thanks for coming out. That's when I did it was right outside Tacoma, actually. I found a rinky-dink Asian casino that had a room where they did concerts, and the show was actually really fun. I think it was the second show that was better than the first. I don't remember. One of the shows was like half okay, but one of the other shows was fire because the crowd was fire and everything. Now I have to like make allies with a bunch of like migrants who don't speak English because things that are owned by Mexicans or Asians, they usually don't care because they only care about money, and nobody there speaks English anyway. So when some lib tries to call and complain, they're always like, "Okay, thank you," and then they hang up the phone. And they sound like that whether they're Asian or Chinese. So I'm incredibly dark-skinned Black African, and I am far left, but I have to admit I'd worship you as an off-white Albanian pog goddess. First of all, helicopter gunship. Those days are behind me. I'm no longer a pog. And, if you're dark-skinned Black African, why wouldn't you want to preserve that? There's this really Black African model. It's a woman who's like got super, super dark skin. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. And I think she's married to a white guy now. That's her. I'm pretty sure. Like crazy black skin. Okay. And it's like, why wouldn't she want to preserve that? Like nobody else looks like this. Why would you want to mix this up and then make something that's not that unique and stunning? I mean, there's been thousands of years of evolution of your ancestors picking the darkest looking motherfucker and having kids with them. And then I think she's like having a kid with a white guy, which is like, now neither of you really have anything. So I don't really get that either, man. So yeah, just preserve your people, man. Wherever you are, preserve your people. That's why like nationalists are in a way like way less racist than the liberals, because we're like, actually we want diversity. Like we want everybody to be their own thing, whatever they are, and in their own world, in their own country, because that's the only way that everybody can preserve it. We don't need to do we all live together and then end up looking like Brazil and there's just like 50 million people living on top of each other. Gray, thank you for the $6. I appreciate that. Loretta Stamp, thank you for the $5. G Raj, thank you for the $1.99. K Max McDonald's. I think this is Kelvin's McDonald's. Oh, I've seen Leonarda, Countercurrents listed you as the key to getting more white women to join our side. The fact that you are a role model for them. How many do we have? Thoughts on this? I'm not sure that they listed me as the key. I think they listed me as an asset. I certainly hope so. I think that my comedy and my commentary tends to appeal to men more because it's a little bit masculine in its aggressiveness. However, I have seen a lot more women at my shows in the last 3 months. It's kind of crazy. Like when I first started doing shows, it would be like 80% men, 20% women. I think the last show was like 60% men, 40% women, which is nuts. And a lot of the women earlier were just brought there by their men, and then they would not have a good experience because they didn't know what they were coming to. And it's like rough. This time around, these women found me on their own, or their men had introduced them to me before the show and they liked it. So I think it's a good idea for men. Men, you got to understand how much of an impact you have on women. Like, it's crazy, especially if you're an attractive man and the woman likes you and it's early days. Women, we are designed to please. We are trying to please you. We want you to like us, okay? So if she's young, and even if it's early days, or even if she's not so young but impressionable or whatever, let's say she's in her late 20s or early 30s or whatever, we are very impressionable. If we like a guy, we're like, whatever you think and believe, we think we're going to think also, because we're looking up to you. So if you have a position where you're in a position where a woman's going to respect you and you can articulate your thoughts and you command her respect, you can guide her consciousness way more than anyone else. But you got to watch out for who she's hanging out with, because other bitches love to sabotage a happy woman. I don't know what it is, but they live for it. So if your woman is hanging out with a bunch of libtards, eventually they're going to win out and pull her away from you. So what you have to do is you got to take her to a remote place with no Wi-Fi. Just kidding. I don't know. Get her. You just got to get her to see some of her friends for the idiocy that they are, because most women are just looking for an excuse to hate other women anyway. And you could give it to them, you know? Okay. Let me see here. India went to the moon recently, and now they have call centers all over the Sea of Tranquility. I hope they don't defecate that ocean too. India didn't go to the moon, guys. Come on. Let's just cut that out. Okay. That was the funniest, most horrible AI I'd ever seen. You know, the Will Stansel show has better animation than that. And Will Stansel has great animation, so it doesn't do anything. Spiritual polarization. The greater the polarities, the more extreme people's attitudes will be when interacting with the other side. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Savrix. I don't understand this, but yes, you know, if you have an extreme fundamentalist, the thing is, if you have an extremely faithful Christian, like somebody who's really connected, because there is a mystical spiritual element to Christianity, which I think you really come in touch with in the Orthodox tradition, which is why it was so appealing to me, is that it did have this ancient mystical tradition of communing with God, actually communing with God. Those people tend to actually be the least reactive towards people who are less believing in that than them. Like, they really understand that the whole point of Christianity is your own your own amelioration through the faith and through getting connected to God, that God is working on you to make you better, like that we really can't do it ourselves. And that the more we commune with God and get connected with him, the more work he can do on us. And then that brings a level of humility, because when we find ourselves moving past, let's say, our old temptations, we actually don't feel pride. Like, I did that. There's no, and I can tell you that as somebody who's had this experience, I don't feel like proud that I'm no longer tempted by my old temptations, because I'm fully aware that I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. I actually feel a tremendous sense of like gratitude to God that he's brought me so far, that I now look at things that maybe before used to have power over me, and it's it's completely irrelevant. And I feel a deep sense of sorrow for ever having fallen in that sin. So I don't think people that are deeply connected in their faith tend to have an extreme reaction. I think people who want to believe but don't really believe tend to have an extreme reaction towards atheists because they're being challenged. So that's what I think. Sagan is wrong. The most powerful character in the Star Wars was Darth Vader, voiced by James Earl Jones, a black man. He was evil though. So yeah, what's up with James? Did James Earl Jones not know that it was a black man? Who knows? It doesn't matter, man. The truth doesn't matter to them. They do have a just agenda, and the truth doesn't matter. Okay. Just sub to your website. I did stand up for a couple of years, and the wokery of most comics is unbearable. Do you take a lot of shit from other comics about your material? Arch Stanton. I don't talk to any other comedians. I'm banned from nearly every major comedy club in the country. The comedians that talk to me are comedians who already agree with what I'm saying, and maybe they're just afraid to say it publicly, or they just kind of don't care that much. They're not that political. But I don't, yeah, I'd like to know, Arch, where you did comedy, because most places where comedy is completely insufferable. Like New York, people think California is bad. New York and San Francisco, I think, are the peak places of this Marxism that we're dealing with. It is absolutely horrendous. They are completely taken over by these color revolutionaries, and there's nobody left with a sane mind. So yeah, if I had to just do comedy in like a city, I would not do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't do comedy for any of those people anymore. I literally just do my shows, and that's it. I just do my shows. So when you come to my shows, I'm testing sometimes new material, and sometimes it's not that good, and sometimes it's great. So you guys get to see it all. You get to see, when you're at my show, you get to see worked out material and then material I'm working on. So you're helpful to that. The thing is, I can't even do my jokes for a regular crowd or like a crowd that would go to an LA comedy club, because they're not a good litmus test for whether something's funny. Because they literally, their brains shut down. They literally shut down. So yeah, I don't take shit from anyone. They're all cowards anyway. None of these people have a backbone. None of them. They're all just trying to get 5 minutes of stage time. And not a single one of these people has the guts to say something to your face. They'll say it online because they're behind a computer screen, but they'll never say something to your face. It's not going to happen. They're full of it. You should come back to Phoenix. Thank you. This Puerto Rican misses you. What a laugh I had that night. Oh, thank you. And you got a date. That's awesome. Congrats. Awesome. Yeah, I just did Phoenix. That was so fun. Phoenix was fun, man. The people in Phoenix that come to see our shows, they're pretty awesome. Will you ever tour the UK? No, I said that I don't want to get arrested. So maybe if you guys, reestablish white rule in Britain, then yeah, I would happily do it. Come to New Orleans. No, thanks. I don't want to get shot. I saw you in Houston last Martin Luther King weekend, and I'm seeing you in Chicago this Martin Luther King. Have you added new material to your show? Yes, I have. You'll see some. I think you'll see some stuff. Not as much as you might think, but I have added a lot, especially from last year. Yes, a lot of new stuff. Hey, Leonarda, I wish you could do movie reviews. The thing is, Mikey, I don't watch any movies anymore because it's so painful. Maybe I'll do movie reviews of like old movies. I love old movies, but even the old movies, you can start to see the preliminary tentacles of this brainwashing that's taken over. Imagine you needed a remaining population to be dumbed down, permanent consuming class. Think of radicalized idiocracy / 1984. Old Yeller, the wokish. Yeah, I do think they need a permanently dumbed down consuming class. That's why I think they're importing the Indians. Whoa! All right. Should look into the Australia Port Arthur conspiracy. Let me write that down. I don't know what that is. Does anybody know what that is? Australia Port Arthur conspiracy. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Thank you. I'm always trying to learn about things. Pakistanis are Indians, not Arabs. I don't care. So, can you come to New Zealand, please, and give our country shit? It's run by gangs and police and gangs. Once again, I feel like it's one of those places I get arrested in, but I'd love to. Thanks for the $1.99, G. Raj. Thanks for the $5, Izzy. Thank you for the $5. Oh, cars. Okay, Leonarda, how about us brown native-born Floridians of Spanish blood, us graham crackers? We good? LOLs. You know what's so funny? I did shows in Miami, and I had like 20% of the audience was brown, which is very unusual for me. It's usually like a 98% white, which I'm not complaining about. And I was a little like, what's going on? Have these people seen my material? And they were all like Cubans and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, a few Puerto Ricans who were like sick of the leftist shit because they'd come from countries where that happened. So I appreciated you, but you're going back. So please come to Australia, especially the mostly white city, Adelaide. Well, I don't know. Are they woke? Am I going to get arrested? Really, seriously, guys, don't ask me to come to your country and I'm going to get arrested. I don't really feel like being in a communist prison in Australia. Please. I abhor abortion, but people getting them don't need to breed anyways. We have that advantage at least. I mean, maybe Hermitage, like maybe some of them, but like that white girl, is there any reason she couldn't have been a normal white mother? Like, even if she had been born 20 years ago, is there any reason she wouldn't have just been a regular ass white woman raising white kids? That's what we got to understand. You know, there's 40 that like Tucker Carlson talked about this, is saying 40% of the pregnancies in the UK are aborted. That's not the Pakistanis who are aborting their first cousin's baby, right? It's not the Indians. It's not the Africans. It's the white people there. And they're doing it because, you know, there's like this study about like, you know, I think it was mice. If mice were surrounded by like their predators, like snakes, if they smelled snakes and they were pregnant, they would abort their pregnancies. And I think that's what's happening. You know, the UK is surrounded by people who want to kill them. G. Raj, thanks for $1.99. Aaron says the aspect of the Trinity is complex. It's this complexity of wrestling with the truth is what makes Christian culture the best when done correctly. I think what makes the Christian culture the best is that it's based on the truth, you know, and that truth is, it's hard, you know, listen, I've heard these pagan arguments about Christianity being a Jewish psyop. It doesn't actually add up. It doesn't make sense that they would know it's going to take 2,000 years. Like, it doesn't make sense. And the fact that Western culture is actually falling at the exact time that faith in Christianity is falling. Like, we are at the lowest of our faith in Christianity. But I think there's just something unbelievably beautiful with the idea that there is a God who wants a personal relationship with you. And he is waiting for you, literally, even with everything that you could possibly do in this world. He's there waiting to be with you. Yeah, I think when we come from a world where we had that meaning, and now we're in a place where that we're told that was fake for whatever ways they want to come up with, it's fake, and then the end result is that there is no meaning to life, then yeah, people are going to abort their kids and they're going to let in all the foreigners and they're going to, you know, make their kids trans. Like, you've completely stripped them of the beauty of what it is to be alive. And what I would want for everyone is to find that connection with God, because there really is nothing else that's gonna do it. And it is really sad when it gets taken from you. A relativist, illiterate society will beat you with the Bible instead of actually using the words in it. A relativist, illiterate. Okay, sure. I guess this is a thing about if you just try to make all the Africans Christian. Okay. And James, $10. Thank you, James. Thanks for the $10. Okay. Let's get back to some of my stuff here. Appreciate everybody. If you send any more super chats, that's fine, but I'm only going to read them. I'm going to read them after I go into the private stream. So thank you. What's this? True story. I was walking at night asking for a sign from God, and soon after I was startled to see another shadow next to me for a few seconds under a streetlight. I jumped. Wow. That's beautiful, man. Yeah, you should lock that away. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Some people are going to tell you you imagined it or whatever. Don't listen to them. Don't let anybody take that away from you. You know what it was. You know it was real. Yeah, God is doing stuff like that. You guys should look, God really will. If you ask him with a contrite heart and a humble spirit, he's going to show you that he's there. And it's overwhelming, dude, because I don't know about you, but I know that I have been pretty awful in my life. And you're like, this is a holy being who created everything, and he wants me to come back. Why? And that's what you got to understand. I mean, if you're rooted in that, they can't really win. And that's why they've stripped that from you. It's 100% why they stripped that from you. Hi, Leonarda. Could you say hello to Daniel Conversano, a courageous Frenchman who is fighting cancer, an ethno-differentialist ideologue who publishes Jerry Taylor. He's on the same wavelength of you. Well, hello, Daniel. I will pray for you. Guys, we should actually pray. Really, you should pray for people when you see these things. It's incredibly powerful to pray on behalf of people. So, yeah, Daniel, I will pray for you that your cancer is taken from you and that you are healed, because we definitely need people like you. I never heard of you before, but I will look you up. So, yeah, hello, and praying for you, man. Okay. I'm just going to take a couple of these and then I got to move on. Thank you guys for the super chat. Seriously, big love from Alaska. Thank you, Doug Chunks One. Thank you. Wow, man, that's a lot of money. Thank you for that. That's pretty awesome. Really appreciate this, guys, by the way. I appreciate your super chats and everything. Just here to support white people, raw truth. Yep, we all are. We all are. Leonarda, are you familiar with 1980s comedian George Carlin? iHypocrite did a video on his anti-white comedy. Yeah, I'm familiar with him, and I believe the same thing. A lot of people like, oh, George Carlin this and everything. I'm like, George Carlin would have been on their side talking about how horrible white people are. George Carlin's whole thing was to dismantle the mainstream white American Christian crowd. Okay. So this is a big thing you guys got to understand about comedy. Comedy is actually quite a powerful tool for undermining agendas. Okay. These people were all about free speech and the right to say whatever you wanted and protecting, really outrageous comedy, when the comedy was being used to subvert the mainstream white Christian American culture. Okay. Once they did that and they dismantled that culture, sort of 2000s, right? There was kind of peak and then it kept going, right? When people started to use comedy back towards the woke culture, like towards the trans agenda, right? Like, why is his name escaping me now? He was banned. He was one of the first ones to make fun of the trans stuff. And he said the N-word, and it'll come to me. I'm bad with names. Sorry about that. Owen Benjamin, right? Completely shut down because he was talking about the trans agenda and transitioning your children and how harmful that was to them before it was okay, when they were still trying to make it a thing. Okay. The time that Owen Benjamin was talking about it, making fun of it, he was threatening the elite's goal, which was to make to have everybody accept this. And so they shut it down. They weren't about free speech then. They obviously aren't about free speech now, when people start highlighting how whatever's going on in the Middle East is absolutely insane. They shut you down, right? You have Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Barry Weiss coming out talking about how we have to censor these people. They're not about free speech then. Why? Because now they are the dominant culture that's in control. Now the diversity, the woke agenda, the be whatever you want, love whoever you want, abort whoever you want, that's the dominant culture. Okay. So when comedians that are considered right-wing extremists, by the way, we were just normal people like 20 years ago, right? When we come along and we're good at what we do, which is highlighting the absurdity of these agendas, they want to clamp down because it's actually quite powerful when you can poke fun of how idiotic it is to say that you care about women's rights, right? But then you won't even talk about the fact that the migrants are the ones who are committing SA on them. Okay, so that's how you know they're full of it, and that's the truth about why they are not. That's why they're clamping down on comedy and free speech in general. Okay, I'm going to do about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to shift over to my website, by the way, guys. So as I said, I'm going to be doing a private stream for my followers only. If you want to be part of that stream, you've got to be a member on my website. Okay, it goes a long way. Let's see if I could get my website up here. Here we go. Yep. If you want to be in about 10, 15 minutes, I'm switching over and I'm only going to be here. Okay. So you could just sign up for a premium membership, and the rest of the hour will be solely on my website. Okay. And if you don't want to sign up for a premium membership today, that's fine. Go in and register. You can actually register. I think it's over here, but I'm already registered. You can go in and register so you can be on my mailing list and find out about new show dates. And if you go down here, you've got my tour schedule. Like I said, I am coming to Fort Worth New Year's Eve. Come out, come in and see me. It'll be a fun time. All right, let's finish this up. There was something that I did want to talk about. One second. Give me 1 second, everybody. Can't talk about that on YouTube. I'll save that for the live stream. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, this was another part of what I wanted to cover today.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was.
So can we just celebrate that victory that we made a place more diverse and not, you never get a pat on the back.
No.
The people who achieve, I feel like in that area, there's only there's more to do. Of course there's more to do. Well, London was all white.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was.
So can we just celebrate that victory that we made a place more diverse and not.
Can somebody explain to me who is it a victory to that you made someplace more diverse? It's funny. I think he's talking, these are the academics guys, right? These guys that he's talking to, because I'm not, or these are the trigonometry guys. Is that right, guys? Who are the trigonometry? Trigonometry. Can somebody tell me if that's them? Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, that's them, right? The trigonometry guys. Yeah. So the trigonometry guys have a little bit more of their finger on the pulse. Yeah, none of these guys are white. Okay. And they're talking about something, but they have their finger on the pulse a little bit more. So when Bill Maher's in the other generation, he's still living under the 90s and 2000s propaganda when everybody agreed that diversity was a good thing, right? Bill Maher's not on Twitter. He doesn't see what the youth are saying and how the youth is like, fuck you, dude. You want to tell us that there's something wrong with white people? Go fuck yourself. He's not on that. He thinks he's living with his little Hollywood liberal friends who are all like diversity. By the way, there's no diversity in the room. And any black people that are in the room are worth millions. So they're going to act right, according to Bill Maher, right? So these guys have their finger on the pulse. So when he says London was white, you can look at the reaction.
Well, London was all white.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, Bill, don't go down this road. The kids don't like this.
It was.
So can we just celebrate that victory that we made a place more diverse and not, you know,
See how they don't say anything? Because they know he's right now, he's walking over a landmine, and they know this is going to get clipped and reposted, rightfully so, to showcase the absolute anti-white agenda. You're celebrating. For the love of God, can you imagine if we went to Africa and like completely decimated the African population and then like just put a bunch of white people there and they had all these kids, and then 20 years later we're like, well, Africa is now 90% white. Can we just celebrate this victory? Do you think Bill Maher would be celebrating that victory? No. I'll tell you who would be. The 10% of Africans that are still there be happy there's a bunch of white people living there.
never get a pat on the back.
No.
The people who like achieve, I feel like in that area, there's only like, there's more to do. Of course, there's more to do.
There's more to do, guys. Even though London is no longer predominantly white, that's not enough. There's more to do. You see, the trigonometry guys are not jumping down there because they know. They absolutely know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What's going on in the chat? Somebody said I need some moderators in here. Seraphim, who's saying? I'll take a look at this. I'm about to go over to the other thing, but if somebody's in here, yeah, don't come in here, guys, and be losers. I can't monitor everything at the same time. Okay, block. Who's the spammer? Oh, this guy. Who's the spammer? India, Pakistan. Oh, is that the one? There we go. Let's block. Is that the spammer, guys? Is that who you're talking about? Scroll back up. Yeah, I'm scrolling up. I saw there was somebody who was saying something, spammed him. I ain't no snitch, but he's brown. Well, yeah, if you guys, if you show me the spammer, I will block him. Fuck that guy. You know, we're trying to have a nice pro-white session over here. Indian, Pakistan spammer. I put him in a timeout, but I need to, what does this say? I need to give someone in chat a wrench to throw some of the trash out of the chat. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Does anybody know, like, is there somebody, can I make somebody in here? Is there somebody who's not a Jeet that I can make a moderator? You can help me throw out the trash. I'd be happy. If you know if you want to do that, let me know. Make you a mod. Okay. What happens if I make you a mod, man? All right. Just listen, if you want to moderate, email me, okay? It's pretty easy. I'll put it in the chat. Just email me and I will figure out if I can make you a moderator, okay? Who's this? Celtic girl, you got bounced from George Webb. Or 12. I don't know what this is. Okay, I want to finish up because I want to go to the next thing. So, yeah, just email me if you want to be. And if somebody is doing that, then let me know. Okay, but yeah, email me if you want to be a mod. I appreciate it. Yeah, and you got to send me a picture of your nose too. That's true. Thank you. Yeah. So as I was saying, you know, Bill Maher's out here and he's saying there's more to do. That's what you guys got to understand. Like all these people who are putting their like heads in the sand, like just, you know, being an ostrich, you know, like you got to show them these videos, you know, and some people are going to be like really far gone. And you can ask them like, hey, do you think it's a good idea that London, you know, in England, you know, the British, the capital of the British people is now no longer predominantly white. Do you think that's a good idea? And when they're like, well, no, let's think about it. Would it be a good idea if the capital of Pakistan was no longer, well, that doesn't make sense because any place being less Pakistani or Indian is always a good idea. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? Who said crime war? Because I'm going to look at this chat right now. I just don't want anybody in here, you know, making things bad. So I'm going to take a look. If there's somebody in here are they still in the chat doing some crazy shit, guys? Okay. Yeah. So you have to engage people and you can't let them back down. And you got to kind of stay calm because you have to know that you are on the side of truth and justice. Because one of the things that happens for us is we start to feel like we're the bad guys because the media is constantly telling us how we're the bad guys, right? They're constantly telling us like, oh, if you think white people whatever, if you don't have white guilt, it's because you're a white supremacist and a white racist. So we can feel bad when we say things like America should be predominantly white. It was founded by predominantly white people and created by predominantly white people. You have to kind of resolve that in yourself to realize there is nothing wrong with believing that and wanting that, and that every other group of people is allowed that basic dignity. Okay. And then once you, and that's why it's good to kind of engage with these people, because if you find yourself getting emotional or upset with them, it's going to highlight where you and yourself still do not fully believe that about your worldview. And you'll know that the work is internal. But those things can only be highlighted by the conversations you have with people. And it happens to me too, and then I have to kind of remind myself like, hey, if there was a bunch of Mexicans invading one tiny little island of Madagascar, and that people of Madagascar were getting overwhelmed, guess what? I would say the people of Madagascar have a right to their own land and their own country and to not be overwhelmed by a population that's going to outbreed and outcompete them. Okay. Yeah, I'm only going to mod people I can trust. Okay. So I am going to go into the live stream on my website, which means it's only going to be available on my website. So if you haven't signed up for that, do that. Let me get to these last few super chats here. I absolutely fucking love your comedy. Love it. Thank you, Templar. Thank you. Okay. Modder Torrent. YT uploads videos. I like turtles and I run a record company. Leonarda's funny. Listen to music. Keep being awesome. Okay. Thank you. Could have been someone. I'll mod for you. Okay. Could you just email me, please? Because I don't know how I would even contact you here. I'm not technologically savvy. I'm a little bit of a boomer myself. Okay. When looking back through movies, it is mind-blowing how many men they put in dresses, and it was called comedy. Yeah, Dave Chappelle talked about this, and they tried to teach him how to do that in a sneaky way. Yeah. Carrie Taser, these people are nuts. Yeah, I agree. And it's illegal to have pepper spray in New York City. Do you guys know that? It is illegal to carry pepper spray in New York City. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Because it's also illegal for somebody to SA you. I'm still on YouTube, so I can't say it, right? That's still illegal, but they let it happen. So I'd rather deal with going to jail and maybe getting molested by some lesbians in jail than getting brutalized on the New York City subway. So that's insane. That's how you know they don't want you to be able to defend yourself. Okay, Leonarda, you need to give someone in a chat a wrench to throw some of the trash out. If I give you a wrench, is that how that happens, guys? If I give you a wrench, how does that even work? Let's see. I don't know how to do that. So if somebody knows how to do that, please tell me. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody who has been here. Thank you, Jackie, Chuck. You are awesome, too. Thank you very much. I'm going to switch over to just streaming on my website. So you can join there. As I said, you can go to my website, which is leonardaisfunny.com, and you can sign up for a membership, and then you'll be part of the super private chat where I will be able to look at your messages and interact with you a little bit more personal. Have a good night. Thank you guys all for being here.